Hi chums, right, we're back at this greenhouse again, and today, the temperature today is 16.5 was our high, 5.3 now. I know it's much colder outside, and 0.8 was our lowest. I just changed that and put it up as, there we are, for our American chums. 61.7 was our high, 41.5 now, and 33.4 is our low. It feels like about 33.4 outside at the moment. It's just close to freezing, although we didn't get the really cold weather they were telling us we'd get. Now, go down here and check the little bubble tent. It had no more heat put in, just as it was. So I'm going to take that off. I have a few things to discuss with you today. So the temperature in here, look at that, 6.7, 5.8 and 0.7. So the maximum is 10 degrees less than outside. Now I'll just change that to Fahrenheit. So it's 44, 42 and 33.3. So, and there's a 0.1 degree difference here in the two thermometers, so they work. Now, we've had a few responses, excuse me. Dale Calder and the race mixer both mentioned that hot water cools faster and will freeze faster than cold water. So if you take a pot of hot water, boiling water, and a pot of cold water, and you put them outside in a cold day, the hot water will freeze first. Excuse me. It's to do with physics and the speed of cooling. So maybe ask us something to do with this. Then Mr. Chris, can't remember, Taunton, Mr. Chris, he mentioned the fact that warm composting could help and heat rising would help. Now, so that has been taken into consideration, and when he mentioned that, the heat rising issue, and the race mixer mentioned that as well, I remembered that I have put a double layer of bubble wrap underneath these plants, so the heat cannot actually rise. Any heat from below cannot rise to get into that. So it's actually just trapped. I've actually created a thermal box for holding keeping things cold. I have to pick up drugs from the hospital, and I have a nice pack box, and I put the drugs into that to keep them cold, and I've basically done the same thing here. I've made a thermal box to keep things cold. So Dale Media Maker mentioned it'd be interesting to know the difference in temperature between the ground outside and the ground inside. So this is all new, a new topping I put in, about 6 inches, 15 centimeters deep, that was used for potatoes earlier on. So I'm going to just get this out here and see what temperature it is. This is a food thermometer, and the temperature here is 77.4 centigrade, and I'm going to see what that is now. It's actually going down a bit. I'm going to change that to Fahrenheit, which is 44.2 Fahrenheit. So I'm going to put this into one of these here. Just take this one at the front, Japanese pepper, just stick it into it, and we'll see how it works in there for a few minutes. So I think we're getting somewhere here. The race mixer also went on to tell me about the possibility of insulating the whole thing and putting lights in, blue lights in. Now the problem here is the size of this thing. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 26 feet, I think it is. I keep saying 30. It's 26 by 14. So we've got a problem there, so big. But I could actually do something here where I could insulate part of this off and make a new tent and put a light in that. One problem there is I don't have electricity in this greenhouse, so I'd have to get the electricity brought in, but that's something I can do for next year. But in the meantime, I was thinking I'm going to take this bottom layer of bubble wrap out and put a paraffin heater down here on the really cold days, which will mean that the warm air from the sun, see, this is the cold end of the greenhouse because of the trees out here, and the sun's rising over here, and it only goes like that sort of trajectory there. and by the time it reaches the end of the trees, it's actually going down behind the house up there. So it gets no sunshine here, but we do get sunshine at this end. So at least if I took the bubble wrap out of the bottom here, it would allow some of the warm air to rise up into that, and then the curtains hanging down might be enough to keep those a bit warmer during the night. And then a paraffin heater as well would probably help, a small heater just to heat this area here and keep the frost off these boys. But I'll check this thermometer now. These work pretty fast, you know. So the temperature here now is 43.9, so it's actually colder. It is colder inside that. There it is, 6.4. So the soil in here in a little tent is colder than outside. So what I'll do now is I'll take this layer off and I'll leave it open so air can rise up into this, and we'll see if we go take it from that direction, you know. Determined to get this sorted out, but I have to give a big thanks to the race mixer, because he or she gave me some great information there. Unfortunately I cannot carry it all out because I cannot act on all of it because I have no electricity here, but I'll get round to somewhere other little paraffin heater, which are not hard to run, they're not expensive to run. But with the price of fuel, they're getting expensive to run now, but for all the time you'd need it, and you just need to do a small boost every now and then, and that'll keep the place right, I hope. So there you go. Someone else mentioned putting heat into the greenhouse, but as I said before, there's too many leaks, and if you see here, there's down in here, if I can just get the camera down sideways there, you can see a hole there. If I can move that spot, if you can, yeah, you can see there, you can see daylight through it. These are little jobs I meant to have done, but you know yourself, great intentions and what is it, procrastination? Yeah, I'm good at that, so I'm. But there you go. So Dale, thank you for that idea. The temperature in there is definitely lower than outside, and the soil outside is warmer. So I'll take this thing apart. I probably became too enthusiastic about my installation. So there we go. It'll not be a big deal because that is just hooked around the bottom there, and I'll just be able to lift the plants out, push it back down the side, and that'll keep the cold of the wall off that, and then the heat will go in from the front. So there we are, folks. So that's it for now, and I'll give another update after I've got this done tomorrow or the next day, and we'll give it a few days to stabilise, and we'll see how it goes from there. All the best now. Bye bye.